Welcome back to episode 50.
Happy 50th episode.
It's kind of crazy. 50 episodes already, huh?
50 already.
That's a lot.
Yep.
But way more to come.
As you can see, we are not in our usual, well, I guess for
not everyone can see, right?
For our visual listeners, as you can see, we are not in the usual studio, as the title probably told you. This is on location. We are here in Salem, Massachusetts.
Yes, we are. Now, very fun town.
Yes.
Very cool. We will be back for Halloween time.
We basically wanted to welcome you, witches and warlocks, to our 50th episode because it is a special episode.
Yes.
Very special. This one... Well, first, before we start, I do want to ask you about, kind of reflect on our journey so far in this podcast.
Just like in general?
Yeah. What have you thought about it?
It's been a wild ride so far, you know? There's been a lot of ups, a lot of downs.
Yep.
Big time downs, you know? Making a podcast like this, it's not easy. It's quite difficult. You know, the amount of research and work we're putting in.
Yeah.
It definitely goes unnoticed.
Yeah. A lot of the time.
It's easier to consume than create, you know, because it takes you an hour to consume it.
Yeah.
And it takes us many to make.
Yeah.
You know, whether or not it's our research, just the editing, all that process. But the journey's been fun. It's been enlightening, I would say.
Yeah. I think
really cool to connect to, like people out there that love the genre of horror like you guys. It's pretty freaking cool. That's kind of my take on it. I don't know. What are you thinking?
Yeah. I think that, although we've run into our hardships with this podcast, I do think that this is something that I want to do for a very long time. I obviously majored in journalism in college, and this kind of allows me to do that, to really use my major in doing things like research and interviews and things like that. So
I am not using my degree.
No, but you're using a passion of yours
I am.
You eventually, came to love and grew, so.
Yeah, it's kind of wild how it kind of worked that way with film for me.
Yeah, but luckily it did, because now we're here.
As we love to say, because of what I used to do and what I love now, is once a door closes, another one opens. And that is completely true.
Yeah.
With film, I got into it because music's door closed, for better and for worse, but it's made me who I am today, and I am grateful for it.
Yeah. I mean, my thoughts about for the longest time, I wanted to be a football player, right? Like I wanted to follow in my dad's footsteps and go to the NFL. And, with the whole nerve injury and 2 shoulder surgeries and things like that, obviously that dream couldn't become a reality. So, it's kind of cool though, because my dad owns his own production company, and he, does a bunch of
still
stuff
kind of following
for film
his footsteps.
Exactly.
A bit, right?
That's why I really appreciate what I'm doing here, because it does feel like I'm kind of carrying on his legacy, but just in a different way than I guess I originally imagined, which is really cool. So,
this is too perfect with our skill sets to, not work, and the people we've brought around us in our team, or what we call our team. Yeah. They don't even know it yet, maybe. But,
yeah,
we call them our team because they do a lot for us. We ask a lot of them. And when it all works out, things for them will work out too.
Yeah. And I will say a really big thank you to really everybody who has listened from the beginning, who have listened from, maybe you picked up and you watched a bunch of our episodes and things like that, or, you went on a binge or something, but
we see you.
Yeah. Honestly, if we started this and we were hit with a bunch of comments that were like, this sucks, this is trash, this is whatever, it wouldn't have stopped us. But it definitely would have, I guess I wouldn't have been as confident.
Hindered a little bit.
Yeah. I wouldn't have been as confident in what we're doing. And I think with, I think our overall response to this has been quite positive.
I would say, yeah.
And we're really happy that you guys are enjoying what we're doing. So, again, stay tuned for, we started our production company this year, which is something that I didn't think we'd be doing for another 5 years.
True. It kind of just came up.
Yeah, we have
like, is it time? I don't know. Let's just run it.
1, maybe 2 short films out right now as this is coming out.
Mm-hmm.
And we'll have vlogs and a whole bunch of different things.
Videos.
And just hopefully you guys are enjoying all that stuff.
We really hope you love the spoof ads.
We're creating more, so that'll be cool. But just thank you to everybody
It's kind of cliche, but we are grateful for you and appreciate you guys very dearly. Because without you, we're nothing.
The whole point of this podcast is to bring you guys into our conversations that Jake and I usually have after we watch a horror movie or things like that. So
completely.
We hope you guys continue to enjoy what we're doing.
So happy 50th. Here's to hopefully another 50 more.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. We're not slowing down anytime soon. So we're doing crazy shit like this. Well, we're in Salem, that's
things will get bigger and better with time,
Mm-hmm.
We're doing what we can with the best of what we can.
Yeah. So
why are we here?
Thank you guys. But yes. So why are we in Salem?
Yeah.
I don't know. Come on. It's pretty obvious. We're talking about the Salem witch trials. And this dark period in history is one that honestly we've been super excited to talk about on this podcast since day one.
That we have.
And with that, the town of Salem has taken the dark history and made it a super cool spot for fans of witchcraft and the occult. And honestly, being around the town, it's nothing short of freaking awesome. So
that is true. We're like, we got to come back here for Halloween because it's just going to be such a different vibe.
Mm-hmm.
And it's already cool. Yeah. It's already really cool.
So before we kick off our story here today, I do want to kind of talk about the town because Jake and I did some exploring, and from the small shops to the big museums, we just want to talk a little bit about what Salem is like. So, what are your thoughts on Salem? Well, for starters, I do want to say, sorry, Roswell, but this is way better than Roswell. Roswell could have they took the alien thing and they could have made it really cool.
I feel like they did at one point, but then it kind of got old. Whereas I don't know, Halloween just never dies.
That's true. Right? Yeah. This definitely feels like you're walking through like Halloween Town.
That's exactly what I was thinking. I was like, man, we just put a pumpkin in the middle of it and call it Halloween Town.
I know. I honestly, we have to come back for Halloween because with the leaves changing and everything like that, like it's gotta be so sick.
And stay downtown. You know, we walked there and it wasn't too bad, but being like right in the middle of it would just be so cool.
Yeah, it'd be awesome.
We could check out the museums, the haunted houses.
Yeah.
We did that one museum. That was a pretty neat museum.
Yeah, a little Halloween one. It was all black lights and stuff.
But it was cool.
Yeah, there's a lot of cool events. There was a street performance going on that was kind of interesting. There's mask shops and crazy like Halloween street performers too. That was cool. One random lady. It was like,
I honestly didn't think that this was such a tourist town, but there was people everywhere.
Yeah, and it started pouring rain. We've gotten rained out like 3 times on this trip, which is, I guess, a familiar thing for us. So
anywhere we go, there's rain, but it's different than Colorado because the rain here just never stops.
Colorado, it'll rain for like 20 minutes and then it's like, all right, we're done.
Yeah, but it's like that's all you get.
Yeah.
Here it's like, nah, you're getting rain for 6 hours.
You're getting pouring rain for a fat minute. Yeah.
It is a cool place though. I have said that like living here would be pretty cool.
So you would live here?
I could live here.
Yeah.
Except the houses are a little out of my price range.
Yeah. Are they? Did you look?
Yeah, they're like $2 million for these homes out here.
$2 million?
Yeah.
Well, I guess they all have like fucking 8 bedrooms.
They are sweet. The like colonial time houses, they're really cool.
They're really cool. Yeah, I would agree.
But overall, Salem's a cool place. And there's just really cool architecture here that you don't see everywhere, you know?
Yes. Unlike Roswell, we will be coming back at some point or another.
Yes.
So I do want to say before we dive in, we usually do talk about the truth like the truth,
the whole truth and nothing but the truth.
We usually talk about the truth of the, I guess, story that we're talking about. And then we talk about kind of the supernatural side. Today is going to feel a little bit more historical than our usual episodes because
take us back in time.
Yeah, it's going to be, it's not like, we will not be talking about like witchcraft and stuff. Let us know if you want us to come back
and we will do an episode on it.
We will definitely do that. And we'll probably try to have like actual witches or something like on for that. That'd be so cool.
Yeah.
But I don't know anything about witchcraft. I have tried looking it up and stuff. And I actually think that it would be more beneficial if we had somebody come on and explain it to us.
Yeah.
Oh, so completely. We'll save it for that. Let us know if you guys want that. Otherwise,
we'll put a poll out.
We're going to talk about, oh my God, my sock is stuck on this thing. We're going to dive into the deep and dark history of Salem, the actual truth, the whole truth and nothing but the truth, as Jake says.
So help you God.
So everybody lock in. Get your brooms, witches and warlocks. Grab your brooms, your magic spells, and let's freaking, oh my God.
You good.
Yeah. All right, let's do this.
Mm-hmm.
The history. I'm sure we all heard about the Salem witch trials when we were in school growing up, so you may know the basics of the events. But there are a few misconceptions that we need to clear up right at the start. First and foremost, what? Oh, I thought you were
just listening, casually listening.
First and foremost, the Salem witch trials took place here in Salem, Massachusetts from February 1692 to May of 1693.
I was like about to say 19.
No,
Whoa.
Sorry. No, I meant 16. Dyslexia. I don't have it, but I might. Who knows?
I definitely do.
During that 15-month period, mass hysteria grew. Certain individuals were believed to be witches and practicing acts of witchcraft or other occult practices. And while the events took place a little over a year, more than 250 people were accused of practicing witchcraft. Of those accused, 30 were found guilty and executed or died while in custody.
Wow.
Yes.
30 people. It doesn't seem like a lot, but I bet it was quite a few. In terms of how many people actually resided here back then. Right?
Exactly. Yes. Yeah. Salem was a pretty decent sized village, but it was, the hysteria grew so much. We'll obviously get into it more, but the hysteria grew so much that it eventually Europe got involved in the whole thing. So, yeah. So about those common misconceptions, you might have heard that witches were all women. Well, that's actually not true. Multiple men were also accused of practicing the occult, but even that being said, it was still mostly women. So
were they still called witches, or was warlocks a term back then?
I think it was just witches, just practicing witchcraft. Yeah. I didn't see anything about, it was like, you wouldn't call them like a witch. It was like you were practicing witchcraft.
Mm-hmm.
Or
you were just doing the act of witchcraft.
Yeah. But in fact, 76% of the accused were women. So, yeah. But it is still crazy that men were also not safe from this. Because when I was in school, I remember them saying that the Salem witch trials were meant to rid society of intelligent women that had a mind of their own, which, don't get it twisted, was still most definitely the case. But there's actually more to it. And the reason that men were also accused might surprise you. The second common misconception is that that witches were burned at the stake. And yes, they were, but in Europe. You see, the hysteria didn't begin here in Salem. In fact, it actually started in Europe. I apologize for earlier, and moved its way over to the colony of Massachusetts. And the hysteria in Europe only grew after the events in the New World. So yes, it did start in Europe, moved over to here due to some things that we'll talk about here in a second.
But then immigration brought witchcraft over?
No, it's like, because again, it was a, I guess it's a pain in the ass, but Europe pretty much, because again, this was when Britain was in charge, right? It wasn't America yet, right? We still had about almost 100 years before that, but the Europe had this hysteria of witches, and that due to the constant traveling back and forth, Salem ended up getting it for reasons I'm about to explain. And then when it blew up over here, then in Europe, it like skyrocketed and then it got like insane. Yeah. So there's that. So even though that it was crazy in Europe, we're just going to be talking about what happened here in good old Salem, considering we are here in Salem. And here in this nice little town, witches were actually hung when executed. They were not burned. So while that is still horrible and unsettling, I'll be honest, I would honestly rather die by hanging than being burned alive. So,
oh yeah, hands down, being burned is just a no-go for me.
Yeah. So that's the overall kind of story. We are going to examine the events of the Salem witch trials. Everyone lock in again, because we're about to dive into some dark history.
I'm locked.
The beginning. It all began back in February of 1692 in the village of Salem. 9-year-old Betty Paris and her 11-year-old cousin, Abigail Williams, began to feel strange. At first, it was believed by the father and the uncle of the two girls, one Reverend Samuel Paris, that the two girls were reeling from some sort of illness. However, as time continued, it soon dawned upon Reverend Paris that the two girls' ailments were far worse than originally expected. Both Abigail and Betty would have fits of rage. They would scream and make strange noises. Their bodies would contort into unnatural positions, and they would throw things farther and harder than most men could. These fits were so violent that Puritan pastor of the village, John Hale, was quoted as saying the girls' tantrums were beyond the power of epileptic fits or natural disease to effect. Without any clues as to why the girls were freaking out uncontrollably, there was one time when the girls said more than just gurgled nonsense. During this fit, the two complained about being pricked by something sharp. Reverend Paris quickly brought the girls to the medical doctor, William Griggs, who then examined the two. Afterwards, he made the claim that he could not find any sorts of markings or ailments regarding the pricking or stabbing feeling that they spoke of. But shortly after, two other girls in the village, about the same age as Abigail and Betty, were showing signs of the same thing. In fact, there was one occasion where Reverend Lawson, another pastor in the village, preached as a guest in the Salem meeting house. There, multiple girls interrupted his teachings with loud outbursts. These were the sparks that eventually grew into a roaring wildfire. Thoughts so far?
That's just crazy.
Yeah. Oh, it's crazy. But it gets crazier.
And it's just the beginning. Like these... just continue. Just continue on. Talk afterward.
It is crazy. Because, well... After 4 girls acted in strange fits and the complaining of being pinched and pricked, it was clear to the town officials that somebody was doing this to young girls. And it didn't take long until 3 women were arrested and accused of afflicting the young girls. But before we get into the accused, we need to talk about who accused them and why. So, the woman that accused the 3 was named Ann Putnam Jr. Anne was also having fits of rage. After some time, she claimed that she had been tortured and abused. An important note here, though, is the Putnam family, which was actually in a polarizing family feud with the Porter family within Salem. While the 3 women didn't have much to do with the family feud, Ann Putnam Jr. was the primary accuser during the trials. She often accused people who were enemies of her family, and this leads historians to believe that the witch trials were an elaborate plan for the Putnam family to win their feud.
Interesting.
Yes. So what was the feud exactly? Honestly, the Cliff Notes version is that each family wished to have the most power in Salem, and how one did that was that they would be in charge of the church. But when Reverend Paris arrived from England, it made the rift worse. Paris created a one true church of Salem, and the Putnams befriended the Reverend in order to gain their wealth they so desperately desired. You may remember that the Reverend's daughter, Elizabeth or Betty, was also having fits. Connecting the dots? Seems as though those girls that were having fits We're all friends and we're trying to gain power. Keeping that in mind, let's check out the first 3 accused women. Before we get into that, what do you think?
It's crazy because obviously you want to kind of take action if these girls are getting pricked.
Yes.
With, these
and freaking out and stuff.
Yeah, that's so... You'd be like, okay, we got to get to the bottom of this.
Yeah.
And someone's going to take action, right? Someone has to.
Yep.
Now, for the power thing, that's an interesting twist that I didn't see coming.
Yes.
So I'm curious to kind of dive deeper into all the things beyond this.
Yes.
Because
there's a lot.
there's a lot adding up, but also some things that you're like, huh, okay.
So what it seems to me is that, honestly, this whole family feud kind of started, and then England got involved. And when that happened, they were like, okay, how do we make things like these, like people go away?
Mm-hmm.
And they figured it out by creating some sort of hysteria. But the thing is, the hysteria grew so crazy that it just got out of hand. So we'll talk about the accused here first. So the accused. First up was Sarah Good. Sarah was a woman that didn't necessarily align herself with the hyper-religious views of the times. And at her trial, she was accused of rejecting Puritan views and torturing children and leading them on a path to damnation as opposed to salvation. The next one was Sarah Osborne. Osborne never really attended church or town hall meetings and often stuck to herself. However, she was attempting to remarry and kept her son's inheritance from the prior marriage, to which the townsfolk did not agree with. Because everybody has to be in everybody's business in a small town.
Totally.
The final woman was named Tituba. Tituba was a Native American woman from the West Indies who was unfortunately enslaved. So I'm sorry, she wasn't Native American. She was Native. She was accused most likely due to her ethnic differences. And it was said that she was luring the young woman to practice her rituals, which included swaying men's minds or having sexual encounters with demons. So what did all of these women have in common? Well, they were all outcasts, people who kept to themselves. This meant that when they were accused, they only had themselves to defend them. Imagine that, alone, enjoying your quiet life, and then suddenly one day it's you against the world. The women were interrogated on charges of witchcraft by local magistrates and were sent to jail starting on March 1st, 1692. But here's where things get a little out of hand. Shortly after the arrests of the other 3 women were made, another woman by the name of Martha Corey spoke out about her skepticism with the accusations. Martha was a devout member of the church and was known as a very upstanding member of Salem Village. Well, due to her public opinion, Martha was then accused and thrown in jail on charges of witchcraft. This wasn't it either. Other well-known women were also accused: Rebecca Nurse, Rachel Clinton, and Dorothy Good. And yes, Dorothy Good was Sarah Good's 4-year-old child. This didn't stop officials from interrogating her. In fact, they used Dorothy's childlike answers as more proof that her mother, Sarah, was a witch.
That's crazy. It's basically, if you don't agree with their lane, it's the highway with you.
It also gets worse because it was like, if you spoke out about it, you'd get accused.
And there's nothing you can do about it.
There's nothing you can do because they would find some way that you're just acting a certain way or something. I know one of the girls, I believe, that we haven't talked about yet, or did we? No, we haven't. But she was accused because she wore costumes and stuff. We'll talk about that. But the big driving factor was that she had dolls in her house. Like, really? Didn't every girl have dolls back then? Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah, you would play with dolls and have a dollhouse. That was like the thing back in the day.
So
don't have that or you're going to be a witch.
So due to this, silent chaos sprouted throughout the village. If such upstanding and well-known women who, mind you, were all devout members of the church could be accused of witchcraft, then so could anybody. So you may be asking, how exactly did they decide whether you were a witch or not? Well, it really was some BS. They would do physical examinations, and if a woman had birthmarks or moles on her skin, that was a sign that the devil tried to influence them. Apparently, it was believed that if you had any kind of markings like that, the devil had already drank in your blood.
So basically, you have to be perfect.
Pretty
right?
much. Yeah.
If you have imperfections, you're accused. You're done. You're
pretty much.
toasted.
Pretty much.
Cooked.
Yes. Isn't that crazy?
That is crazy. Well, I'd be cooked.
I think everybody would, man. It's honestly, it's just the weirdest damn thing.
That's crazy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So
well, continue.
All right. Everybody becomes a target. In April, 2 more women were arrested and accused, Sarah Cloyce and Elizabeth Proctor. Sarah Cloyce was actually Rebecca Nurse's sister. She was quite vocal about how she did not agree with her sister being thrown in jail. But here's where things get even crazier. When Sarah and Elizabeth were also put in jail, Elizabeth's husband, John Proctor, spoke out. He was quickly arrested and tried. This was the first man to be accused as well, but he wasn't the last. In fact, a firestorm began. Men and women alike were being arrested and accused of witchcraft, and Salem became a madhouse. In May, people began to evade the arrests. This caused the authorities to search Salem from top to bottom to find those accused of witchcraft. May was also when the first casualty was. Sarah Osborne, one of the first 3 women to be accused, died while she sat in jail. It was believed that those who died in jail were not treated like humans. They were tortured, starved, and left in filth to rot as they awaited their sentencing. At the end of May, the total number of people in custody was 62. This obviously didn't include the amount of people who were accused but had actually evaded authorities. Crazy.
Yeah. They're just picking off people left and right.
Mm-hmm.
Just walking down the street going, yeah, that's a witch. Nah, that's a witch.
That's literally what was happening. It's crazy. Yeah, it's insane that this was happening. And it all just started from like some childlike games from like some kids.
Some childlike game, and also just someone potentially just looking to take out the outcasts.
Mm-hmm.
It's
crazy.
It is.
It's just one like, and she was like a young girl too.
And really, how are you supposed to defend yourself when no one else is on your side?
You can't.
Right?
That's the point. There was literally nothing that these people could do other than run away.
Yeah.
Crazy.
And it's kind of funny to think about, like, the outcasts are running away from this town, but this town now accepts outcasts, you know?
Yeah, it's true.
That's kind of like a complete turnaround.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's one thing that we've seen.
People of every culture, everything come here because you can be yourself, you know? It's
orientation, religious, political, whatever the hell. We've seen it all up here. So it's like, I think it's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. It is a complete change of, definitely beats the alternative of this. Jesus. Anyway. So now the major courts get involved, and this was pretty big. So the Court of Oyer and Terminer was an English law commission that met in Salem on June 2nd, 1692. William Slaughton was the chief magistrate and also acted as the new lieutenant governor of Salem. So this court was literally created to deal with all this stuff that's happening. And it was like a big deal. Hella judges. In fact, the Salem witch house up here is the last remaining structure of one of the judges that lived up here. It's like his house. So pretty cool. The first individual that was put before the court and Magistrate Slaughton was Bridget Bishop. Bishop was one of the more recent arrests, and she was accused due to the clothes that she wore. She often wore black clothes, which went against the Puritan code. There were even such occasions that she wore what was described as odd costumes. However, these costumes were never really specified, although it is believed that that is the origin of the pointy hat. So
it's interesting, kind of cool, kind of crazy at the same time.
Yeah,
mixed emotions.
Yeah. So they then examined her physically and decided that because the coat she was wearing was cut in strange places, she dealt in witchcraft. Which, like, what? That was how they did it. They said that her coat was cut in weird places. If that isn't a reach.
Isn't that a hole?
So they had all this other evidence, but that apparently was the one where they were like, okay, that's strange that you're a witch. Are you kidding?
They didn't even look in her house for a spell book.
Well, no. So she was the one with the dolls.
Oh,
yeah. So she's the one that they saw the dolls too. But the big driving
because dolls are so weird, you know.
It's like she had a loaded count at, you know, she's batting with a loaded count, and they literally threw it should have been like the ball was like cut or like coat cuts, right? Like she should have been able to slug that thing out of the park and be fine. But no, they like called it a strike or some bullshit. There's a little baseball analogy for you. It was so bad, but it is the point though. It should be like just a home run. Like, oh, my coat is cut weird for sure. But no, that's anyway.
What are you supposed to say? Just, cut my coat.
Yeah, I cut it a couple times. I didn't like the way it fit, so I cut it. You're a witch. Fuck. So when put before the grand jury of the court, every single accusation against Bishop was confirmed. This unfortunately meant that Bridget Bishop would be the first woman or person executed in the Salem witch trials. She was hanged on June 10th.
Publicly.
After the execution, the court discussed the nature of things for 20 days. During this time, they examined where the village was as a whole. Was this chaos supposed to be happening? Was this really an attack on humanity by the devil and his demons? Or was this all just mass hysteria? Well, the court sent a letter to the homeland of England asking for advice of their superiors. A letter was returned with advice, and the advice said that they should continue with what they were doing, but spectral evidence had to back up the claims. The only thing was, and everybody knew this, there was no spectral evidence. But the court and its magistrates did not give a single damn. In fact, they attacked Salem with more accusations and arrests than they had before. However, not everyone was on board. Major Nathaniel Saltonstall, a member of the court, left on June 16th due to the fact that nobody wished to listen to the spectral evidence portion of the letter. Basically, spectral evidence allowed for everyone to say, I saw this shadow surrounding the accused that must be a demon, and boom, you were a witch. Sadly, Saltonstall was the only one who saw this and thought it was wrong. Things from this point only went from bad to worse. With multiple corrupt magistrates being placed on the court, it was nothing but a firestorm of evil. Accusations, arrests, and torturous methods occurred every day. On July 19th, 1692, 5 women, including that of Rebecca Nurse and Sarah Good, were executed by hanging for all to see.
You know what I find quite interesting is they asked Europe for help, and I find that crazy just due to the fact of, you know, hanging someone, that's a big deal.
It's a big deal.
So like, it kind of makes sense they asked, and like trying to deal with it properly. Yeah. But still, hanging someone for just some stupid accusation is just crazy.
They took the letter that was returned and it was supposed to be like guidelines of like, hey, like make sure you don't do this to everybody. But they took it as, okay, we can just keep doing what we're doing. Which is, talk about a power trip. Yeah. Crazy, right? So moving on, we're in August now. 5 more people were set for execution, including Elizabeth Proctor and her husband, John. But Elizabeth was spared execution because she was pregnant. However, she had to sit and watch her husband and 4 others get hanged.
That would be very tough.
Yeah. One of the individuals that was part of the group of hangings was one George Burroughs. Burroughs was actually a preacher. This is actually a huge deal. Burroughs was actually a preacher and the only preacher to be tried and executed during the Salem witch trials. But the execution of Burroughs was actually, again, a very big deal. This is because he recited the Lord's Prayer during his execution, which the magistrates believed a witch couldn't do. Burroughs' speech was so moving and carefully worded that it is said that some in the crowd were moved to tears and began to mumble about the executions that were being carried out. But when they finally hanged the preacher, the magistrates, especially one Cotton Mather, stepped forward on his horse and claimed that the devil sat above Burroughs' shoulders, telling him what to say in order to fool everyone. Once his own speech was finished, the executions continued.
Dang. Just putting words into his mouth.
I can just like picture that in like like a movie.
Oh, I know. Like
Right?
this dude is just like, moving people with this crazy passage or something, right? From the Lord. And he gets hanged, and all of a sudden the guy's like, don't let this evil upon you.
Yeah, he's saying
all
like,
this stuff.
I can see the devil above his shoulders. Like,
believe me, I can see it with my own eyes. And everyone's sitting there going, maybe he can, maybe he can. And then all of a sudden you're just brainwashed.
Yeah, I know, dude. It's
brainwashed.
Stupid.
Common theme.
Yeah, for real. Anyway,
that would be a pretty emotional movie scene, though.
That's what I'm saying. No, that'd be crazy. I actually don't know if there's ever been a movie about the Salem witch trials.
At the very least, the documentary's got to be, right?
No, there's 100 documentaries, probably even more than that. But
although I haven't not heard of a movie.
Yeah, I'd watch it.
Yeah, 100%.
It'd be like super depressing and stuff, but like I'd watch it.
Mm-hmm.
It's history,
Could be very artsy too.
Yeah, good. In September, the court indicted 18 more individuals. It seemed now that nobody could escape the tightening grip of this court. Those who even got out of the witchcraft accusations, which weren't many, were arrested again on different charges. On September 19th, Giles Corey, a farmer, and his wife were brought to trial. Giles went first, and when he was asked to enter a plea, he refused. He did not give an answer, guilty or not guilty, and was then tortured using a horrible method. The word is French, so I'm not even going to try to pronounce it, but basically they laid Corey out on a heavy stone, like they put him out, like laid him out, and they put a heavy stone slate on top of him. Each time they asked him to enter a plea and he refused, they would keep placing heavy stone slabs on him until he was crushed to death.
What a horrid way to die.
Yeah. What the hell?
It's horrible.
Yeah. So
it's like when walls are caving in and you just like feel it closing in on you.
Yeah, dude.
Knowing you're going to be crushed.
Not it.
Although, kind of props to the man for not breaking will.
I know.
Believing in himself.
But his wife is there. I mean, I probably that's got to be just a plea or something, because you don't want to let your wife see that.
But like,
I don't know.
What if you believe that you're not in the wrong,
Well, he didn't even say like not guilty. He just said, I'm just not going to talk to you.
I mean, that's,
you know what I mean?
Yeah. I guess that's fair.
But I guess maybe he was trying to see if there was any other thing that he could do, because people were obviously going up saying not guilty, and they were like, well, you're guilty anyway. So
yeah, like what's the point then, right?
Exactly.
Try and fight it rather than just,
I know,
just becoming what they want and then doing whatever they want to you anyway.
Yeah. It's a bummer. But,
it is.
After that, and of the newly indicted, 4 people entered a guilty plea where 11 said not guilty, but were tried and eventually found guilty. So, on September 22nd, 8 more people were executed. That's my point. It's like they just, so people said guilty then after that, because they're like, oh my God, well, if that, like, we're guilty. Maybe we'll see it. Maybe we'll get some leniency. No. You'd be executed.
It didn't matter.
You'd be executed like off rip. Yeah. So, after this, it became pretty apparent to England that Salem was getting out of hand. A fear grew that even the innocent were being executed, which is crazy since everybody was innocent, but whatever. Governor Phipps of Boston decided enough was enough, and on October 29th, 1692, the court of Oyer and Terminer was dismissed. So it took them until October to do that, but after the dissolving of the court, there was no more executions in Salem. So that's good.
Just like that, it stopped.
Yeah, England knew that it was getting out of hand, and they said,
enough is enough.
We have to get rid of this. And they knew that things were getting bad, so they sent the governor of Boston. It just
seemed like they were executing left and right.
Yeah. Yeah, the governor of Boston was like, okay, this is enough, dude. What are you guys doing? So, we're going to finish up here. I mean, that's it. But just to finish things up here with the story, the asshole William Slaughton, the chief justice of the court, was actually put as a chief justice of a new court in Salem as well. and he went back to his old ways, indicting more people and accusing them of witchcraft. However, this time, each trial was overlooked by Governor Phipps in Boston, who pardoned everyone that was set for execution. This continued into April 1693, where the last few people accused of witchcraft were found not guilty, and ended that terrible period of chaos and hysteria in Salem.
Dang, good for that guy to pardon the people and let them survive and not be caught in the bullshit again.
Oh, dude, can you imagine being that Governor Phipps though?
I know.
And you get sent these like trials,
and you're like,
and you're like, dude,
not again.
Who's this? And you're like, what is this guy doing?
Yeah,
what are you doing? Oh man, yeah, it's a bummer. So,
but at least he was able to take action on it, right?
Mm-hmm.
Rather than how the tragedy of others panned out.
Yeah. No, it's bad. But
I mean, regardless of if they're a witch or not, that shit's crazy.
I know. So, I mean, what are your thoughts?
It's just, I can't, it's hard to believe that in that time you could just point a finger at somebody and later they're executed.
Yeah.
You know, over just some crazy stuff. Yeah, they might have been doing, saying they, it started with the little girls and them accusing them, but then it grew to so much more off of so much more less, right?
Yeah.
Oh, because you had a doll in your house, you were hurting, children or doing bad things at the time.
But again, though, it wasn't really about the dolls or the thing. It was all about trying to get people who, I guess, others that were in power considered as a threat.
No, I mean? Yeah, I understand that. Yeah. But it's just like they would find the smallest thing just to accuse them because they're on this power trip, right?
Yeah.
And it's crazy. It's like you see power trips all over the place in even modern day, but it's just to the extent of like executing and hanging people in public settings. Yeah, that doesn't fly anymore.
It is insane. Yeah.
It's just hard to wrap your head around when, you didn't live in that time period.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And who knows what would happen if I lived there?
I don't know. I mean, so that is,
I'm not like the most social person ever. I like to keep to myself and do my own thing. Am I an outcast and being called a witch too? I don't know.
I think that by these standards, everybody would be considered a witch because everybody who speaks their opinion would essentially be considered a witch.
Yeah.
I mean, that's at least what it seemed like. So
can't have an opinion.
But I do want to kind of shift gears a little bit here. Sure. And, the story is sad and stuff, but like it's a really dark period. It's unfortunate, but I do want to talk about how we as human beings kind of blossomed from it. Right. I think like it shows that no matter how bad, you could bring up World War II, you could bring up, no matter how bad things seem, eventually that reign of terror will eventually end.
There's always
somebody who's good will step forward and do the right thing at some point.
There's always sunshine.
Yeah. After the rain.
Yeah.
No, it's true though.
Devastating events that lead to potentially better outcomes.
Yeah.
In most cases, people have to suffer and it kind of sucks that, things happen, but hopefully that good outweighs the bad.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know if it fully spawned, but witches and Halloween is like a big part of American culture and other cultures now too. That's like, if you do witch stuff, like it could be cool. Like,
well, that's what I'm saying is like, I don't think anybody's, if you actually know how to do like actual witchcraft and stuff, show me. I want to see it. I'm not going to like, that's so cool. Yeah, I don't know. I think like, it is so strange that like back in the, I actually don't remember if the Wendigo episode comes out before or after this, but regardless, we're doing an episode about the Wendigo. And if you've seen it already, cool. Then if you haven't, then whatever. But the point is there's a literally just like until recently, this like certain thing was like Wendigo fever or something like that was actually like considered a real thing by doctors up until like 1916 or something.
Really?
Yeah. It's like an actual thing. So we'll obviously talk about that when we get there. But my point is, it seems like only lately science has kind of taken over the more spiritual aspect of things, right? And I think like, yeah, it's cool. You know, I mean, it stops things like us believing in Wendigo fever or, you know, witches and shit. But I also kind of wish that we did believe in that stuff. I do. I wish I believed like magic existed. And I mean, I believe in ghosts. I know Jake doesn't, but I do.
Sorry. We've had many discussions.
We'll get him there.
Even Cal's dad has tried to get me to the
my dad didn't believe in ghosts at all. He was like Jake, and then all of a sudden he experienced some stuff, and he's like, "Okay, well, yeah, maybe."
I'm gonna have to experience it to believe it, and yet nothing's happened. So
don't blame you. It's just like our Bigfoot episode.
Yeah.
If you guys haven't, if this is your first episode, boy, there's a lot of stuff that you can watch, check out. But there's one episode in particular, Bigfoot, the Yeti, that we did. We did it in the middle of the woods. That was cool.
It was cool. To some.
Pain in the ass walking up that damn hill. But we did it in the middle of this like teepee thing. It was already made. So somebody just was in the middle of the woods and made this crazy teepee thing with a bunch of tree branches.
It wasn't small.
No, it was like kind of spooky. Yeah, it was definitely spooky. And we sat right in the middle of that and filmed the episode. But regardless, yes, there was a bunch of people who did not like what we were talking about with Bigfoot. We essentially gave all the facts of Bigfoot and the Yeti, and we said that we would have to see it to believe it. And a lot of people attacked us because they were like, "You guys are idiots for not believing in Bigfoot." And I'm like, "Well, we'd have to see it." And then they're like, "Well, we have seen it." And I'm like, "Well, we haven't." So.
And you're like, you're literally explaining our point for us.
Yeah.
Like, yes, it's cool that you've seen it. We get it.
Yeah.
But we haven't. So just respect that. And until we do, or if we ever do, then maybe we'll reach out to you again.
I will say, you know, it's like kind of a good thing here. Like Jake doesn't believe in ghosts. I do. I don't like look at Jake every day and I'm like, "You dumb asshole. Don't believe in ghosts." Though. No, I don't though.
I'm just kidding.
I will now, but yeah, I don't know. I'm just saying, like, I wish that, you know, if witchcraft did exist, I want to see it. So if you guys know witchcraft, let us know.
Witches and warlocks.
No, but I guess that's
it's just interesting story. Crazy history, you know. Yeah. Spawned a cool town.
It did.
So there's always some good that comes out of it, you know.
Yeah.
Pretty unique place, and we hope to come back because it is really cool.
Yeah. So, you got anything else or no? Good.
No, I'm chilling.
Okay. I know it was a shorter, sweeter episode today, but hopefully you guys enjoyed whenever you're listening at work or whatever it is you're doing. And yeah, thanks for sticking with us through 50 episodes, and here's to 50 more.
Yeah, it's been an absolute fun ride. Still more to come. Looking forward to 50 more.
Yep.
Try to hit that 100.
Yep. Check out our other stuff. If you have a horror idea.
Got merch right here.
We do have merch. If you have a horror idea, whether it's a podcast, a novel, a short film, whatever, and you don't want to start from scratch, let us know. We will put it under SPN Productions. You can submit it to our website. It is the link in our description on our YouTube. We also have a Hoobie on our Instagram. And if you...
It'll get you to all the right places.
Pretty much.
Find all our good stuff.
And you can grow your audience with us. You can get your eyes in front of the same people who are watching, in our community, right?
Exactly.
And I think that if we just create a community of people who all support each other in their projects, I think that would be really cool. So
completely. Yeah. Let us know, we've got a lot of resources at that.
Yes.
Tip of our fingers now.
We can help you guys with a lot of stuff. So let us know if you're struggling to get a project off the ground or something like that. And we'll help in any way we can.
Even if you don't necessarily want to be a part of us, but looking for advice, we can help you guide you to the right direction of where you need to go.
Yeah.
So
anyway, you can find all the information in our bios.
But please join us, join us.
So to essentially conclude this episode, were there really witches in Salem back in the late 1600s? Not at all. In fact, the Salem witch trials were meant as a sort of censorship tool for those in power to make sure those who spoke out against them were silenced. No matter the issues, whether it was religious, political, monetary, or gender-related, if you didn't like someone, you could just accuse them of being a witch, and they would most likely have been tried and found guilty. And those who became a threat to shifting public opinion on those in power, well, they were sent to the gallows. So now we could talk a bit more about the political aspects of everything or the religious issues that were going on during the time. I will say, do we look like that kind of podcast? No, we talk about the spooky stuff. So although no witches actually existed, your government throwing you in jail or torturing you because of some random ass reason, which might lead to your death, is a pretty haunting thought, and I do think deserves an episode on this podcast. If you guys, again, like I said earlier, want us to do a full episode about witchcraft as a whole, maybe get some self-proclaimed witches and see if they want to dive into the subject with us, let us know in the comments. That would be cool. And as we say goodbye to you guys here in Salem, we want to again say thank you for sticking with us. We're so incredibly happy that you guys seem to like listening to us, and we hope that you continue to do as we grow. Do you have anything else?
Nope, just a big thank you guys and happy 50th.
All right, guys. We'll say
Signing
goodbye from
off.
Salem, and we will see you around the graveyard.
Goodbye.
Thanks for listening to this chilling episode of The Supernaturals. For your protection, make sure to like and subscribe on your favorite podcast platform. And stay tuned for the next episode.